the sun is actually setting. It's still shining off of the beautiful crystal palaces and buildings that you're all surrounded by, and it almost burns your eyes just because you know when you're looking at a piece of glass and the sun gleams off of it, it almost hits you in the eyes and kind of makes you squint a little bit, but you're getting used to it. There are barely any shadows here. Everything is so see-through and clear for the most part and shiny that the shadows are very minuscule. That said, I'll describe some things as the doors of the city shut behind you. First of all, you're still on the back of Fluffy the horse. And as you are coming in the city, Fluffy seems to know where Fluffy is going. He and the other horse are just clip-clopping down this beautiful road into the inner city, not really paying a mind of where they're going for you necessarily. They don't care where you're going. They know where they're going. So you have a choice. I'll describe some of the area around you, and you can decide whether you want to jump off or just stay on Fluffy until you get to the destination they're going. So as you're clip-clopping, few things that you see. First of all, obviously, the buildings here are humongous to you. I'm talking like, Fergus, even with your suction cup little climby things, it would take you years to climb some of these buildings. Years. They are gigantic. You got to imagine that these are places that house giants. They're buildings that are just built similar to the way we have them in the regular material world, except for giants live there. So quadruple, quintuple, 10 times the size of a regular building, and especially to you. So, as you are looking up, you can't even see the tops of most of them. They are that tall. And you see some people, and by people I mean giants, walking around. It's a regular city in some aspects. I mean, as you're looking over the mane of the horse, nobody seems to notice you because you're so small. I mean, it would be like you guys looking down and noticing an ant. It would be that similar of a feeling. These people don't seem to even see you at all as you're on the back of Fluffy here. And so what you can see is, first of all, like I described, cloud giants. They're called cloud giants. They are kind of light blue, similar color to you, Fergus. They're just a little bit lighter than you in terms of color. And they're tall and lanky for the most part. As giants, they are less so, as I've said before, wide, and more so lanky and tall, long arms, long legs, long necks, pretty thin. You can see their rib cages for the most part, that kind of thing. There is, of course, variance in that. You see some that are shorter, you see some that are more stout, some that have a belly on them a little bit. But for the most part, they're built very differently than the giants that you may have heard about or seen before, especially in like fairy tales. They wear a lot of jewelry here in this city. You'll notice a lot of bangles going up the arms, shiny bracelets and bone necklaces. The outfits here are flowy and thin, and I mean, you're talking loincloths and like a flowy shirt that shows your pecs, and it's very open here. They're not covering themselves up for the most part. They are speaking in a language that I don't think any of you understand. Do any of you speak giant? For the most part here.
I don't think so.
She said, do you have an ability that lets you listen to any or something? Do you have a spell? Can't remember.
I don't think... let me see. Here's spells or
check
traits?
Your spells and see if you have anything, and then check your features and traits and see if you have anything.
I can speak Common, Draconic, and Thieves can't.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know.
I can speak giant.
You can speak giant?
Let's go!
Whoa! Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense with the Furbolg thing. She said, did you find anything in your spells?
Honestly, no.
That's okay. That's all right. It looks like you're just glad to have Crocus here. Crocus, you, as you're listening, you can kind of hear the murmur of regular people. I mean, I'm trying to paint the picture here for you that it's a city, but it's 10 times the size, and it's like a regular city. So you got people walking around. What's up, Jinx?
I do have it. It's a universal speech. Sorry.
Universal speech. What's that from? Is that from
I
Bard
can choose.
stuff?
I'm not sure. It's yeah. It's the College of Eloquence, the 6th
Yep.
level for
I
Bard.
knew you had something. Okay, so what does it do?
I can choose 3 creatures within 60 feet as an action, and magically they can understand me regardless of the language I speak for 1 hour.
Okay, so they can understand you, but you wouldn't be able to understand them?
Seems so.
Okay. All right, well, that's still very useful. That's still super useful.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry. I just wanted to let you know that I had that.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. All right, so again, the thing I'm trying to paint here for you, especially for Crocus, is that they're just talking to each other like regular people. How's it going? You know, that kind of thing, back and forth. It's the people who are walking along. You see some of them talking with their children, some of them speaking to their spouses, or just talking to a shopkeeper, or small talk kind of things. Again, your presence here is so minuscule that nobody would notice. If you just kind of went about your business, nobody would even see you. So, with that said, Crocus, listening to those kind of conversations, you get the idea like, oh yeah, I do speak giant. You kind of remind yourself a little bit. It's kind of like when you're from Spanish class. I don't know if you ever took a foreign language in school, but it's like it's been a few years since then, so you're kind of relearning it as you're going, re-listening. And the city is not super bustling. It seems like like I said, it's sunset, so people are kind of heading back to their homes, going to rest for the night. But a few things do catch your eye. So this is the last thing I'll describe before I let you guys take over in terms of what you want to do. A few things. One, Crocus, you see a shop. The sign of which is above it on this big wooden, crystal slab, and it's carved, etched into the crystal in giant, so you're the only one who can really read it. But it is the Big Poof, is what it's called. And the Big Poof is, from what you can tell looking through the windows, everyone can see this. Inside the windows, you see flowy drapery clothing the size of giants. You see magical, like little doohickeys and little tinkering things, something that would fall in love with if was here. He would most certainly love you for showing him that. So kind of like a magical tinkerer shop. It's called the Big Poof. And then there is a tavern. Now, you're not sure if people your size are welcome here, but the tavern is Beau's Drinkery. So Beau's Drinkery is also written in giant. It looks a little bit more homely than the magic shop. It's seems like a place that it's got some people going in, at this time of night. They're going in to have some drinks and enjoy themselves. And you can tell it's a tavern because you see, like I said before, it's like a regular city. So the same types of clientele, but in giant form, are going to this kind of place, people who are drinkers and partiers and that kind of stuff. And then lastly, you spot something that might be important for Shisa, and that is you see a instrument shop, a place that sells musical instruments and specializes in retuning harps and fixing lutes and those kinds of things. And this place is... Pull this up. Sorry, I got this on a separate page because this one's a little different. This one is called Jasper's Keys. And as in like a keyboard. Or a piano.
Okay.
And it's got a theming of a piano. You can kind of tell from the outside. It's got that black and white piano keys type theme going on, especially on the sign. So these are the 3 places that stand out to you. Now you all have a choice. First of all, none of your party can read those. So Crocus, you'd have to share if you want to share. Again, if you were to speak out loud, someone would have to be, like a giant would have to be really close to even hear what you're saying, because your voice would sound like this. So you don't have to worry about being too stealthy.
All right. I do tell my party what I'm reading here.
Okay, so you guys hear Crocus kind of reading off the signs as you're going by. Now you can kind of talk as a group. You have options. You can go to any of those 3 places. You can go somewhere else if you want to just go exploring other parts of the city. I can tell you more about the city. It's going to take you a while to traverse without a horse because you're small.
Right.
But you can also stay on the back of the horse and just let it take you where it's going. It looks like a royal horse, so it might be taking you to some place that is royalty based. It's a royal carriage, at least you could tell. What would you guys like to do? I'm leaving it up to you. Feel
I'm
free to
not
talk it out
sure.
in character. I know it's been a while since we played, but you can kind of get yourself into your character space and kind of remember what your character's like and what they would say in a moment like this.
Wait, before this, we were just going into town, right? Like the harps in the forest.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, I think I would just like follow along with whatever Fergus or Crocus want to do. I'm just waiting to go to the forest. But I do want to check out that music shop eventually. I don't want to leave without checking it out.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons you wanted to go here also was to rest for the night.
That
Because
too.
of the combat and things that happened in the previous or 2 sessions ago.
Yeah, I got some hit points taken away.
You said there was a tavern nearby too.
Yep, Bo's Drinkery.
We're so tiny though. I'm so overwhelmed.
That means that the alcohol is going to be extra cheap because we're so small. Let's just buy one and share it all.
Would they even accept our like currency? Because it would just be like nothing to them, like a speck of dust.
Good question.
Perhaps I could convince them.
Do we even want to bring attention to ourselves? Because
I mean-
we've obviously snuck in.
At some point, we're gonna have to
Uh-huh.
interact with giants.
Well, who's to say that this place is, guarded? I think it's just people just can't get up here. It's not that people aren't allowed.
So, yeah, you remember that you either needed a pass to get into the city or someone in the city to vouch
Oh.
for
That's
you.
right, we're trespassing.
Oh, I
So-
forgot. Oh,
So,
My
with that
bad.
in mind, you're not sure why that is, though. That is kind of a mystery for you. Your
Right.
characters don't know why you need a pass to get into the city or if it's really that strict. I mean, the horse seemed, fine with you going in, fine with covering for you. So it's kind of a mystery to figure out maybe why that even is in place in the first place. You obviously don't notice anyone like you here, but also it would be hard to spot someone like you here. Even if they were here, if they were on the ground where you're at, again, from how high you are up on the back of this horse, they would look like ants to you. Like you would barely see someone as your size. So just keep that in mind. There may be people like you here. There also may not be. You don't know. This is a new world for you.
I don't know where I want to go.
I think we should just play it safe and go to the music shop, honestly. Like, I think if we go to the pub, we'll attract unnecessary attention. At least initially. Like, let's see what the city's about first. And then, like, maybe we can, if we're feeling brave, we could go to the pub afterwards, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I
but
guess we
I'm-
could just check. Yeah, we could go to the music shop as like a little testing the waters.
You want to check out Jasper's Keys then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So now, step 1 is getting off the horse. What's your plan here? How are you going to hop off the horse without jumping to your death?
Easy. I've got a trusty little trident.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a little puddle of water on the ground so we can jump in.
This is
as a
not
bit like-
Minecraft. You were like
yeah.
you're like 100 feet in the air.
Oh shit.
Fluffy, psst, 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 Fluffy.
Minecraft Andy.
I think I would just ask
Yes, Crocus?
my bestie. Do you think you could maybe stop and let us down here?
Stop and let you down?
Mhm.
Where are you going? Don't you want to meet the king?
Oh.
Oh,
Ah.
but
Is that what was going on here?
do you guys want to go meet the king?
Oh,
Do you know?
I thought that's why you came here.
I
Never
don't know where-
mind.
We're a little bit lost, Fluffy. We've never been here before, you know?
Oh.
Hmm.
I just thought you lost your pass.
Oh.
Did we tell him that?
Yeah, we did. We got invited, but we lost it through our treacherous journey on the way here.
Roll me a deception check.
I forgot we
You
told
can
him
roll with
that.
advantage. You can roll with advantage too. Roll twice, take the higher number.
Nice. Okay.
All right, nice natural 20. Nice way to start us off today. So as you say that, the horse goes,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm happy to help in whatever way.
and the horse kind of stops and kneels its head down if you want to get off.
Wait, but should we go and see like
That might be kind of cool to
wait,
go meet
Fluffy?
King of the Giants.
Can I speak to Fluffy or is it just Crocus?
It's just Crocus, but
Okay.
But I'm translating.
yeah, I'm assuming you're translating back and forth, which is why I'm letting you roll.
Crocus, can you ask Fluffy if it's hard to meet the king? Because if we have to wait for hours or days, there's not really much point.
Fluffy, how hard is it to meet the king?
I don't know. I see him every night.
Every night?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. You're pretty good friends with the king then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I just finished dropping off a friend of his in the forest.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What friend?
You guys.
I don't know.
What?
Just someone
What?
I see him with. She's very pretty.
Oh, a woman.
Whoa. I mean, maybe it might be good to stick around with Fluffy here.
Yeah. I think we should press Fluffy for a bit more info though, because
Mm-hmm.
could that be Shisa's mom? Question mark. You know?
She wouldn't be like. Would she be out and about? Like
Yeah, I don't know. She might be.
I think she's.
It's hard to say. She said if she was, you feel like you'd know. You'd feel like you'd know, especially because of what's going on in the world and the need for people, gods like your mom. You have a feeling she would have reached out, or she would have tried to come and speak with you, or whatever. It doesn't seem like.
Yeah, I didn't assume that it was initially.
It would be a world-changing event if she were to break out of her prison inside the harp. It would bring a lot of music back to the world. It would change the landscape of the world if one of the gods had broken out of their relic. So, hence, like, Fergus's dad still stuck in the trident. Crocus's mom still stuck in the seed. If Vivian had broken out of the harp, you probably would know, either from Fergus's dad or Crocus's mom saying something, or the idea is no, probably not.
She's stuck in the harp. Yeah, that's what I.
But good idea. That's a cool idea. But this seems more so like, well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say who the king's friend is or what this is all about. This could be one of the people who's involved in stealing the harp. It could be one of the many other giants who just lives out in the forest. You don't know.
Right.
Could be a mistress. Could be a lot of things.
Yeah, I think it might have something to do with the harp, but like I don't think it's my mom. Well, can I ask Fluffy what direction, like from the city, that they dropped off the
Well,
You saw.
Oh,
you
what?
saw the direction. It's the exact opposite direction of the city. So,
Okay.
there. If you imagine the world, imagine a rectangle. Okay. On one
Mhm.
half of the rectangle is the giant city. On the other half of the rectangle is the forest. So
Gotcha.
the horses came from the forest to the city. That's when you caught them, and they obviously the cart was empty, as you know. So they had dropped off whoever was in it.
Okay.
I mean, we might want to keep Fluffy around just because like it would be probably a lot easier to get to the forest with Fluffy too.
It'd be a long walk without.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to meet King, I guess.
Yeah, let's
You
do it.
gonna stay on the back of Fluffy?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So Fluffy brings his head back up.
Are you getting off, or
No.
going
We
to
changed
see
our
the
minds.
king then?
Let's go see him. Let's go meet your friend.
Okay.
And Fluffy trot or clip clops along down the path. A couple other places snag your eye as you pass the kind of main center of the square where Jasper's Keys, Bo's Drinkery, and the Big Poof were. Two other places kind of catch your eye along the road. One looks like a sort of dingy speakeasy almost. It's of all the places around here, it's one of the only places built with wood, and it's kind of in between two beautiful crystal towers. So it's like this little wooden hovel in between these two beautiful beautiful crystal towers. And this one has no sign in front. It just seems like it's just got a symbol that looks like a cup of tea on the front of it, and that's it. So there's no signifier, but it looks like a tea shop / speakeasy / like open mic kind of place that you could go check out. Maybe have some interesting conversations there. And then the other spot that kind of stands out to you is the horse carriage. What are they called? Stables. The stables. You see some giants kind of walking horses around in a little bit of an open area outside of the main city. It's just kind of past some of the bigger buildings. It's still inside the walls of the city, but it's kind of its own little open area past some buildings. You spot it as you walk by the buildings. It kind of goes behind a building and then comes out and goes behind a building and comes out, as you can see it behind the structures that you're walking by. This stable area looks like a spot for horses to roam, and Fluffy's walking right by it, not going anywhere near it. So again, you get the idea that Fluffy is a royal horse and therefore probably has a different spot to be at. Speaking of which, some of the horses in that area, Fluffy kind of like whinnies at them. You know, if a horse is whinny, like and Crocus, you hear him saying,
Hey, how's it going?
the rest of you all just hear a horse whinny, but some of the other horses go,
You going back to the castle there?
and Fluffy kind of nods his head and he goes,
Yep, living the life.
and a few of them go,
Lucky.
and they're just kind of like neighing back and forth, talking to each other as you walk by that area or trot by that area. Finally, you make your way to Center City, where there is a it's essentially, if you can imagine, it's kind of like their Lord of the Rings freaking castle that's famous, but I forget what it's called.
Middle Earth. I know exactly the one you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm talking about? Anyway,
Yeah.
it's made, but it's like made of shining crystal. It's like a lot of tower, like big spires, and they all kind of come up to these sharp points, and it's extremely beautiful, but also a bit daunting. You see 20, 30.
Oh, it's not.
I forgot what it's called, yeah, but you see like 20, 30, 40 giants all kind of walking around, making guard, watching the castle here. It seems like it's very well guarded. And as the horses approach the main gate of this area, there is like a new wall. It's like a wall inside the city, a wall around the castle, and there are some guards waiting for you, or waiting for the horses. And they immediately, without patting them down or checking them out, they immediately open the gate and let the horses through. You go right by these guards and all of these people around the perimeter, and you go straight to the inner area of the city. Obviously, Fluffy the horse does not know anything about you, but is also not extremely intelligent. So you can tell that there's a little bit of a... If Fluffy thought that you were in any way going to harm the king, this may not happen, but you guys have been really nice and, very gentle. And so Fluffy is innocent and just kind of allowing this to happen. But you get the idea that if Fluffy didn't want somebody here, they wouldn't be, because there's just so many guards and so many ways to stop you from getting in. Okay, so finally, you go through the gate into the inner walls that surround this big crystal castle. And you pass by more guards. You actually pass by a few giants who are working on these giant hedges outside of the castle. These hedges are trimmed into the different shapes. One of them is into the shape of a swan. Another hedge is trimmed into some horses and like a giant on their back, like a knight. It's trimmed into this beautiful shape, and you see these giants have these big hedge clippers, and they're clipping the edges of this and kind of making this beautiful. There's a big fountain outside of the main castle that's another like flock of swans that are spraying the water out of their mouth for the fountain. It's a really beautiful area. And the horse takes a sharp right and kind of circles its way towards the edge of the castle to a beautiful crystal dome, which seems like it might be the horse stable as you approach. And Fluffy trots his way inside. A kind of homely looking cloud giant who's dressed in rags is patting down some horses, washing them, cleaning them, giving them sponge rubs and those kinds of things. And Fluffy moves his way into a spot as the kind of like into the entranceway as this cloud giant kind of comes up. He seems young, seems like a youth, maybe in his teens for a giant. But he says,
Hey there, buddy. Welcome back.
and he takes the reins off of Fluffy and unhooks him from the cart. He also unhooks the other horse, who is a little bit more of an asshole, and just kind of like pats that horse on the butt, and that horse, the other one, goes into his little stable area. Fluffy, as with you on the back, walks his way into his own little stable area, and the cloud giant locks a little gate in front of him. All of this area is still made out of that beautiful crystal. And then this cloud giant takes the cart that now has no horses on it, and he puts both hands on it and pushes it out of the doorway so that horses can come and go from that doorway. And then you see two other giants come and take that cart from behind and pull it away. So that cart is now out of your vision, and you are now in the stable with Fluffy and the what seems like teenage cloud giant who's cleaning the horses. And he says,
All right, buddy. I'll get to you just a second. I gotta finish up here with Bessie.
And he washes on another horse that's in here. Fluffy whinnies in like happily, just says, you can hear Fluffy is excited for his own little sponge bath as he goes,
All right.
And now that you are here, Fluffy continues to make soft noises as he talks to you. What kind of questions do you have for Fluffy? What do you want to say? Seems like this guy's probably not going to be able to hear you again. It's a big area, and your voice is physically, your sound waves from your voices can't travel really far enough for a giant to hear you unless they held you up to their ear.
Right. Sorry, I had to yawn. I guess I guess like it would be probably good to get the giant's attention
Okay. Did
Maybe
you
make
tell
a little
Fluffy to get
buddy.
it?
No, this is more me like talking to my party. Like,
Okay.
I think this would be a good idea.
Yeah, I
Because I
think.
feel like he's younger. He'll be more open minded.
Yeah. Is this the king?
No, this is Stable Boy. You don't know his name. He's a teenage
Okay.
giant of
Cool
some kind,
guy.
just washing the horses.
Yeah, I'm down. Why not? The best way to do this, maybe perhaps, Crocus, you could like shape shift into something big because you speak giant, right? So maybe that's easier. I don't know.
What's the biggest thing I could shift into?
At level 10, a lot.
Ooh. Let's see.
Probably like a T-Rex.
Is there something maybe a little less threatening?
Maybe like a giant eagle or a
I feel like
rhino or an elephant or something.
I feel like a giant eagle would be a good way to go.
Okay.
Just because I can fly.
All right. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I would like to do that.
All right. Go ahead and mark off one of your B shapes for the day.
Okay.
And then as you transform into the eagle, you watch the feathers grow out of Crocus's back, and her arms kind of shift and form into these wings as her mouth turns into a beak, and she swirls her way up into the air with a twist and begins flapping her wings. And you hear Fluffy say,
Whoa, nice trick.
Thanks.
and as you're now flapping your wings, you make a eagle screech to get the guy's attention, or no? What do you do?
Oh, I have to think about how I'm going to do this. You said that there's a gate, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to land on the gate and just kind of like make my presence known.
All right, so you land on the gate and kind of extend your wings out and pose a little bit here on the edge. Pose.
A little bit.
And so the you are not quite getting the attention of this guy because he's kind of focused on sponging this other horse. But Fluffy gives a little whinny like, and finally the guy kind of looks over. He's about to say something to Fluffy when he's like, and he looks over and sees you on the edge of the railing of the gate, and he kind of walks his way up to you, his feet thudding against the ground, and he kind of leans down and puts his one eyebrow up with his eye, and he kind of looks at you, and he says,
Where'd you come from?
I don't know what to say. How big am I in comparison to him? Like, how big is Giant Eagle?
you are like as big as his eye, maybe a little bit bigger with your wingspan.
Oh. Okay.
So not huge.
So not huge, but noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
I go, hi.
So the problem here is I don't think you can speak common
Oh,
or giant while you're an eagle.
no.
Mm-mm. I
Giant
think you-
Eagle understands common and Orin, but can't speak. I can't speak.
So you can screech and that kind of thing, or you can shift back into Crocus now that you have his attention.
Can I go get one of my companions and they can ride on my back and talk to him? I don't want to shift out yet because I feel like it might be useful to stay in that shape.
Only problem is that they don't speak giant.
Oh, that's right.
You're not sure if this creature speaks common though. You haven't. There's
We
been no
haven't
need for
tried.
them to speak common.
Right. Frick. Can I go and like try to get him to let me land in his hand, maybe?
Okay. You flap your wings up and kind of twirl in the air and flutter in front of him. And just as you had hoped, he kind of puts his hand out for you to land in it.
Perfect. Okay.
He's curiously looking at you as he tilts his head back and forth.
I'm gonna shift back into Crocus now.
All right, the wings retract and you kind of twirl yourself back into Crocus. Your clothing kind of flows out in a little bit of a flourish as you spin on his hand, and you are back as Crocus. And his eyes get real big, and he goes, just like the horse, almost exactly like the horse.
Hey, neat trick.
Thanks.
Oh, you speak giant.
I do, yeah.
Whoa, what are you?
I'm a furbolg, just tiny little
Oh.
guy.
A fairbolg? What's that?
It's like just a little guy.
Is that like a fair bug? Are you a bug?
No. Yeah.
You didn't sound sure.
Oh no.
He seems playful as he's looking at you. He doesn't seem threatened by you. You're big enough for him to crush in his hand, so...
Oh no. I'm visiting, you know?
Hmm.
It's very exciting.
Visiting on the back of my horse?
Your horse is really nice. Fluffy is just the best. Oh my goodness.
Fluffy?
Yeah.
That's quite the name. Very creative.
I know.
Yeah, his name is Ezekiel, but
Oh!
Fluffy's
You
good
didn't
too.
know that.
Hey, he doesn't know much. He's a horse.
I mean, fair enough.
I don't even
He's
think he understands giant.
No. Well, maybe. I haven't asked him yet.
You can talk to him?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No way. Prove it.
Yeah. Bring me back over to him.
So,
This whole time, by the way, this giant has been holding you up to his ear so he can listen to you, by the way. So yeah, he brings you over to Fluffy and brings you down in front of Fluffy's face.
Fluffy.
hey. Seems
Hi.
like things are going well.
Yeah, wait, what's your name again? To the giant.
To the giant?
Yeah, to the giant.
I don't know if I trust you enough yet.
Well, my name is Crocus.
Cool. Crocus.
Fluffy, did you know you actually do have a name?
What?
Yeah, this guy here gave you a name.
Really?
Yeah,
I
your
didn't know that.
Yeah, your name's Ezekiel. Do you understand them at all, or like?
Ezekiel?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I keep hearing that phrase. Zeke,
Mm.
Zeke, Zeke, every time they call me. I thought that was like a giant thing.
Nope, that's your name, my bestie.
Oh, I'm Ezekiel. That name's hard. I like Fluffy better.
He says he likes Fluffy better.
No way. There's no way he likes Fluffy better. There's no
He
way.
does. Fluffy, I want you. I want you to shake your head no when I ask you this. Do you like the name Ezekiel?
Fluffy shakes his head no, and
Fluffy.
and then when you say Fluffy, it nods its head up and down, and the giant says, "Okay, I guess I just have to believe you. That's insane. Well, Crocus, it's kind of dangerous for you to be here all by yourself, being so tiny."
I have friends with.
His eyes get all big. Doesn't say
Yeah.
anything.
They're chilling out in Fluffy's mane right now.
You see a moment of hesitation from this giant who's still got you at his hand,
Mhm.
and he kind of glances towards the door as you say that, and
Oh.
his eyes get kind of narrow, and he says,
How many friends did you bring?
2.
Okay. Are you here to hurt somebody, or what are you here for?
No, we're just on a simple little quest, honestly. We're trying to find something.
I see.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, let's see them then.
Alrighty. I like yell down. Hey guys!
I guess Fergus kind of puts his head through the main and like just waves. I guess I don't really know. Like,
So Fergus is waving from the main. Shisa, what are your plans? Because you're still invisible, Shisa. You had the necklace
just
on
gonna-
that allows you to be invisible for as long as you wanted. Or close to as long as you... I think it was like an hour.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pop my head out, like
Okay.
throw up a peace sign.
All right. So both of you make yourself seen, and the giant looks down at you all, his big iris kind of scanning across the top of your backs. He's still holding you, Crocus, up to his ear, and he says,
That blue one's even smaller than you.
Yeah. He's just a little guy.
Yeah. What is he? Is he a Fairbolg as well?
No. He's like a lizard.
Oh. Can you understand me?
No.
he says in giant.
They don't understand giant. They only unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
What
but
do they
I can
speak?
translate. Common, I'm sure they can speak some
Oh.
other ones. I'm not sure.
I know a
Do you-
little bit of common.
Oh, you do?
Just a little.
And he kind of like leans down, and you hear, first of all, he's speaking right to you both, who are on the back of Fluffy. His breath is kind of stinky as it comes out of his mouth while he's speaking to you. It's almost like a big gust of wind, and he says,
Hello, I am.
and he kind of looks over to you, Crocus, and smiles, and he says,
Frankie. It's kind of close to Fluffy.
Frankie and Fluffy? That's so cute.
and he says that in common. He says, "Hello, I am Frankie," to you in common. That's the first thing you guys have understood in a while.
hi, Frankie. I'm Fergus.
Fergus. Fergus.
Yeah.
And
I'm Shisa. Fuck.
Shisa. Shisa.
Yeah,
Crocus.
Shisa.
Fergus. Shisa. Frankie.
And
Fluffy.
he's
Fluffy.
and he kind of like sighs when he says Fluffy. He's like,
Fluffy.
because he's like sad that his name didn't work out.
Oh.
And he says in giant to you now in a more comfortable verbiage, Crocus. He says,
That's a lot of 2-syllable names. What was with our parents? Did they all go to the same 2-syllable convention?
Probably.
So why are you here again? You said a quest?
Yeah. She said we're looking for Shisa's mother.
he looks down to Shisa and just says,
Mom.
Yep.
he nods his head. He looks back to you, Crocus, and he says,
Oh, is she a giant? She doesn't look giant.
Not sure.
Oh. That's weird.
We just know she lives up here.
Does Shisa know what she looks like? Maybe I can help.
Shisa, do you know what your mom looks like?
No, I don't.
We don't.
Okay, well, that's gonna be tough then to find
is?
someone you
I
don't
was
know what they
adopted.
look like.
You were adopted?
Yes.
Wait,
Are you saying this to Crocus or are you saying this to Frankie?
Say it to Crocus. Well,
I'm speaking in common back to.
I don't think Frankie can understand me unless if I
Not
use my
much.
ability.
Not much.
Yeah.
You can
Huh.
use it if you like.
No, I'm good.
All right, so Crocus, you're doing most of the translating still.
Okay, all good.
So, do you say the adopted part in Giant?
No. No.
Okay. So Frankie says,
Well, your best bet is the city.
Mhm.
I don't think you're gonna find her here in the castle.
No.
Um,
Probably not.
If you are here to ask the king questions, I guess you're in the right spot, but there are lots of guards around, and if you spook him, he might call for them. He usually comes down to hang out with Zeke, Fluffy, each night, at least a little bit to feed him.
Right. Hmm. I'm thinking.
He's a bit skittish and kind of shy.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm. He's a good king. He's just a bit, careful.
I mean, if you're a ruler, of course you gotta be careful. That makes
Mhm.
a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
He does have, he has his weaknesses. He likes shiny things. He, likes to laugh. You can make him laugh. If you can make him feel comfortable, I'm sure you'll be okay. But if you make him uncomfortable, he'll probably crush you in his palm.
Oh,
And all your
That's-
little bones will turn to dust. Which I would not want for you. You
me
seem
neither,
nice.
Frankie.
You seem really nice, all three of you.
Thank you. You're really nice, Frankie.
Aw, I'm just another guy.
No, you're Frankie.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but
Okay. So, do we want to meet the king? My besties.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah?
Also, tell Frankie. Tell Frankie I said he's got a cool haircut.
Wait, so you mean fuck it as in let's meet the king?
Yeah.
Or at least try to?
Yeah, I'd say so, right? I mean, we're halfway here, and Frankie might be able to help us.
So let's think about this for a second, right?
Okay.
Fluffy said that Fluffy goes into the forest almost every day, right?
Right.
The
Yeah.
harp's in the forest.
Right.
We don't know why Fluffy goes to the forest every day, and maybe it could have something to do with the harp. So if we're 100% honest and tell them that we're looking for the harp, it might be a bad idea.
That's why I
Yeah.
haven't told them anything about the harp.
Okay, so let's just keep that in mind while we meet the king.
Mhm.
I think
I-
maybe we'll be okay.
I agree. We'll just
Right.
stick to that we're trying to find your mom, but not be very like specific about it, I think.
okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh,
I agree with
yeah.
Susan.
alrighty. And then, as far as meeting the king, do you want to wait here until the king comes? Or do you want to try and find a different spot in the stable? Or do you want to just chill on Fluffy's back? Or do you want to ask Frankie any more questions? Or do you want to skip to the king arriving at the stables to feed Fluffy?
Do you guys have any more questions for Frankie, or maybe things that we want to try and find out?
Can you tell him he has a cool haircut?
Fergus won't stop saying he just loves your hair, Frankie. He thinks you have the coolest haircut in the world.
Oh no, come on.
Yeah,
I did it myself.
really?
Mm-hmm.
You're talented, man.
He's
Looks
got
great.
a like a bright shock blue mohawk that he's
Ah,
That's so cool.
he's real happy now. His cheeks are all red and he's rubbing his mohawk
Oh.
back.
What a cool guy.
He
Um,
leans in and he says,
Nice stature.
and gives you a thumbs up, Fergus.
I just like, actually, in fact, I don't double thumbs up. I just like hold the trident up and do like a little victory dance.
Oh.
And he looks over to you, Crocus, and he says,
Look, he's dancing. He's dancing.
He is dancing. He's really good at it. Get it, Fergus.
you hear the giant, not in any language, but instead just a noise that he's making. He's looking at you as you're bouncing up and down the trident. He goes,
Climb.
he kind of puts his hands up like he's dancing a little bit. Fluffy kind of nods his head back and forth, and you guys are having a little dance party in here. And he finishes up his work that he's working on. You actually get to stay on the back of Fluffy as he sponge baths a little bit, and of course he avoids you all from getting sudsed up or anything. But he finishes up his work, and Frankie takes a second to lean back into you after all this, and he says,
Okay, I am headed out for the next. I gotta go get some food. Okay, I gotta go get some food. So,
That's-
good luck. I may be
you.
back before the king gets back. I might not. Just depends. He kind of comes down whenever he wants.
Sounds good, Frankie. Have a good meal. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Yep. Good luck. Don't get grinded into dust. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
and he kind of runs off in his teenage self. So you're here in the dark stables. The sun has set here. It is extremely dark. And Fluffy, you can hear him sleeping underneath you. He's got his eyes shut. He's resting his head on the gate and just kind of relaxing. As you all are here alone for the first time in a long time, do you want to say anything, strategize, do anything before the king arrives?
I think we already did the strategizing part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, if you're ready, a couple hours pass by. And you hear some jingling from outside the stables. Few jingles here and there, footsteps that are thunderous, making their way towards the stables. And after a few moments, a large blue hand kind of wraps its lengthy fingers around the edge of the doorway and a head ducks itself in. On the top of this head is a beautiful crystal crown with beautiful jewels the size of you on the top of it, embedded in the base and the tips of this crown. One big, huge gray scar going down the left side of this creature's face, all the way down. He's got a gray left eye, and his jaw is almost slack from the injury, whatever injury this was. His jaw is kind of like down like this. And he's got a very lengthy, kind of pointed nose. His eyes are this kind of piercing hazel bluish green color. And he's wearing a robe that, again, shows all of his chest. He's not wearing anything underneath it, just the robe. This robe is made of blue and silver fur and silk as it kind of comes down over his shoulders. His bottoms are just a kind of rhinestone-covered loincloth that he's wearing. His toes have rings on them. His fingers have rings all the way down, like 3 or 4 rings on each finger, even his thumbs. And he's wearing some beautiful bangles that go all the way up his forearms. So that's what all the jingling was as he was approaching. And as he leans his head in and looks around, his eyes kind of dart back and forth. And you guys are on the back of Fluffy then, or are you on the gate?
Mm,
And are you hiding is the other question.
I mean, if we're not hiding, I feel like if he sees us, he won't be like. He'll be more like, like a
Mhm.
little bit like, "Ooh, what is that? What is that?"
I think I should hide, and I think you two should be available. Sorry, not available, visible. Because I don't know. We have to have some in case something goes wrong. We have to have some sort of escape plan, and I can work something out. I don't know.
Don't you think he would be weirded out by one of us hiding? Like, I
Yeah.
think we should either all be hiding or none of us.
I mean, can I shift back into the eagle? Maybe.
If you
But
want
you
to.
can't speak to giants if you do that. Remember, so it's
No,
probably not
but
ideal.
it's a bit of a more like approach with like Frankie, I guess.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
The only problem is you're the only person that can speak giant. So if he's
Right.
inquisitive, then we're kind of screwed.
The guy said he was cautious.
Yeah.
Is there a cuter animal? Eagles are a little scary. Could you do I don't know, like a
I'm
bunny
looking.
or a cat?
But that wouldn't be very big.
Okay, but like a giant cat?
Oh, like a tiger, maybe?
No, tiger. Well, I guess a tiger probably isn't scary for a. In fact, to be fair, giants probably keep lions and tigers as pets, right?
You're not sure?
Mm.
Because think about it. I actually think a lion or a tiger probably isn't a bad shout, Like,
What about a
I know-
polar bear?
Ooh. Wait, maybe they do keep polar bears as dogs. Woof woof.
But they're bigger than that, aren't they?
What if you were a horse?
A tiny horse and the big horse.
What's the biggest things you can mutate into?
I'm
and
like
we'll work out
looking.
which is the cutest of them.
hold on.
Probably like an elephant would probably be like the biggest, cutest thing you could be.
Wild shape.
It would be, it would be there should be like a wild shape list of beasts.
I'm like pulling it up. Hold on a minute.
You're good.
Hi. It's all. I'm going to become evil. Where is it?
I'm going feral.
I'm going. Wild shape guide. I just want the list of.
I think I
Let's
sent
see.
you one on Discord, but I
Think
don't
so.
remember how long
on.
ago that was.
Let's see if I can find it. Yoink.
Yeah, I sent you the list on
There it is.
Discord. It's that
Let's
last
pull
link.
it open. Advanced filters. Oh, hold on.
Oh
Tiny
yeah,
thing-
don't do the advanced filters. It should already be listed the way I. So
Ah,
I sent
okay.
the link I sent you has it sorted with all the things you can be.
Oh, okay, perfect. All the way up to level 10, right?
Yeah,
Perfect.
Go back to sex.
you're good. So the first few pages are the biggest things. Anything that's CR in the CR column, CR1, that's as big as you can get with the type of druid that you are. So you got things like giant toad.
Oh, I see.
Giant octopus. Giant hyena.
Okay,
It's a
tiger
dog.
is an option.
Mhm.
Let's see. There's a bear. I don't know what that is. Hyena. Giant swan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it didn't let me see what it was like. Lion. Lion is a option. What's a Nyxborn lynx?
It's like a cat that's kind of like made of stars.
That's cool. Nyxborn.
Just remember, it has to be a creature you've seen or heard of before.
Oh, that's right. But I wouldn't know that, huh?
Probably not.
Okay.
Same with like giant space hamster. Probably not.
Giant space hamster.
Yeah, if you go to the G's, you'll see a bunch of giants. You got giant lizard, giant frog, giant snail.
Alright, I think the ones I'm thinking might not be like super threatening is probably the giant swan, giant giant swan, or the tiger, or a lion. I think there's a lion option too.
I'll
Yeah.
let you all make the decision.
What do you guys think?
What was it? What was the other one? Lion and what?
Lion, tiger, and swan.
I think lion. Ooh.
Swan.
Are swans big? Swans aren't very big.
It's a giant swan.
Okay. Maybe giant swans are big.
Giant swan. D&D. I mean, isn't like like in Jack and the Giant Beanstalk? Isn't there like a giant like swan that lays like golden eggs?
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, maybe that would be like, oh, a swan. I don't know.
Hey.
Maybe. I'm either for swan or tiger. I don't mind.
I mean, come on. A swan can't kill like a tiger. I'd say a tiger is definitely more threatening than a swan.
Swans are still scary fuckers, though. Don't get it twisted.
They're
true.
so
They break your
cute.
fingers off.
No. Swans genuinely. Swans like break people's legs regularly in the UK.
Giant swans are very aggressive and will not hesitate to defend them.
Are you reading this?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They have a nasty bite.
Okay, but can you speak? Okay, can you speak giant as any of these creatures? I'm gonna presume no.
I'm trying to see.
Right.
No, none of these beasts will be able to speak. Speak
Right.
common or giant. They can understand them.
Okay.
There are some ways to get around that. Like you'd need a spell that allows you to speak telepathically with people. If you cast that and then shapeshift, you can still speak telepathically while you're in beast form. But I don't think you have any of those kinds of spells.
Can listen to me? Can she cast universal speech on Crocus once they've shapeshifted?
Is it?
I think it only
Does it say
it's only
self
for me.
up at the top?
Yeah.
It says self,
Uh.
or does it say touch? So when you look at the spell, it should be like a range of.
It says reach.
It says what?
Oh,
Range area is reach.
Range area is reach. Hold on, let me look.
I might be onto something here, besties.
You might be. I don't know if
Ooh.
you can cast this on someone else or not.
It says
Let's
you have
look.
gained the ability to make your speech intelligible to any
Oh, this
creature.
is not a spell. This is an ability, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just you.
Yeah, I think it's just me.
Yep.
damn it, Shisa.
I mean, he's a king. He has to speak common. I feel like that's something he would learn.
Can animals speak common?
They can understand common. They can only speak what's called the beast tongue.
Do you think kings learn beast tongue?
So,
No, but I definitely think he knows common.
But you don't know common. That's the problem. When you're shapeshifted, you understand it, but you can't speak it.
No, I can't speak in my shifted form.
Okay. I honestly think okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but I think that you do the swan, but then me and Shisha just stand like either on your neck, your head, or your beak, so that we're like up towards the king, and he can see all of us. He can see you. He can see us standing on you, and
Yeah.
we'll be able to communicate with the king because we can speak in common. So you're essentially just like a glorified ladder and attention grabber.
I'm just sitting there like this.
Yeah. No,
And you
literally,
guys are
like,
sat upon me.
because then that way there's no like language barrier, right? And he's not just gonna.
You know, I think would be really flashy.
Honestly, I think it's
We
kind of
wait-
showy, and
We wait from above, and as he's walking in and petting Fluffy, we just descend down.
honestly,
Just super graceful and flashy as shit. I think it would be so funny.
I don't even think it's that bad of an idea, you know.
It would be like as if a sign from above, you know? Like it's a sign.
Let's do it. Fuck it. I'm as long as Shisha's on board as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Alright, we're waiting from like above.
In the rafters. All right.
Wait, no. We don't want to fly down and scare him. Just like
No, like
yeah.
super gracefully. Like, whoa.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
All right. So you're waiting up in the rafters. Then the scene I described of him finally coming into the stables here and leaning his way in. He looks immediately over to Fluffy and he switch my music here. All right. He looks over to Fluffy and he kind of tilts his head. And he walks his way over to the horse and kind of kneels down in front of him and begins petting behind his ears and kind of nuzzling his face into the muzzle of Fluffy. And from the rafters, you all see his eyes kind of like well up with tears as they begin dripping down his nose, and he's rubbing his nose into Fluffy, and he's kind of muttering under his breath, but it's kind of hard to tell what he's saying. It sounds a bit like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh? He's just crying on the horse?
yeah.
Dude, this guy's. Oh no. He's sad. Can we watch for a second?
Sure. Yeah. As you take a pause in the rafters there, you watch as he brings his hands up around Fluffy's neck and just kind of holds him tightly and hugs him through the gate, kind of over the top of the gate. And he gives a few kisses on the cheek of Fluffy, and he says,
Oh no, you miss her. I miss her too.
Getting juicy. And how old is he, the king?
it's hard to tell. Go ahead and roll me a... You can do insight or perception, your choice.
Oh. Let's do perception. Okay, I got 15.
All right. So with a 15, you get a good look at him. He's not like wrinkled, but he's
Mhm.
definitely in his middle ages. He's in his middle
Right.
ages.
Okay.
I can't give you an exact number, but I can just tell you he's past his early life, but not quite into his late life.
Later life, right? Okay. Are you guys ready to descend down?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I want to descend down to the gate behind him,
Okay.
all like elegant as shit, and then I'm just gonna go honk.
All right. So as you descend down into onto the gate, he's busy kind of with his eyes closed, nuzzling himself into the horse. As you land on the gate, he doesn't seem to notice your flourish or anything. But as you land on the gate and honk, he kind of jumps, and his head comes back from Fluffy. And as his eyes dart over to you, they're bloodshot and there's kind of tears, and he's wiping them away. His crown is a little bit off center. And as he looks over at you, he blinks his eyes a few times like he's can't believe what he's seeing. And sorry, I'm beeping my diabetes.
Woohoo!
Fixing. Okay. And as he looks over at you, you give another honk, and he kind of like looks and sees Fergus and Shisa on the back of you. Obviously doesn't know what you look like, but immediately he kind of takes a step back and falls down onto his butt with a thump, and his hands go back onto the ground into the hay and horse grime that's on the ground, and he kind of like backs his way up to the edge of the stables slowly. And underneath his breath, he says,
Who the hell are you people? Who are you?
Honk.
I guess I like gesture. I like wave my hands towards him because he's not going to be able to hear me, right? Can I use my trident to amplify my voice?
probably not. But
Oh wait! I have an idea.
Mhm.
He's crying, right?
yeah, he
I like-
was.
But like, okay, can I use my trident to like wipe away his tears and like, I guess, try and show some degree of like affection and be like, oh, like don't worry, King, you know?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead and roll
Nature check?
me your choice of nature or what was the other one? I think the other one was insight. That was for when you're reacting to things. So we'll just do nature. Yeah, with your plus 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say nature's the one for me.
Yeah. So do this real quick. All right. As you wipe away his tears, you bring your trident across, and the tears kind of slide themselves off of his face and kind of begin floating out in the middle of nowhere. The water kind of balled up into these balls, and then it disappears into mist as you've successfully wiped them away. And he kind of brings his hand up to his face in shock as he looks down at his fingers, and he kind of tilts his head at you, and he seems curious. As he raises an eyebrow, he says,
What are you? I've never seen someone like you before. What is that?
I just gesture for him to come closer because he's never gonna be able to hear me.
Honk.
he jumps again as you honk, just kind of his crown's kind of tilting off. He gets up onto his knees and kind of moves his way forward towards you, leaning his face in close. Again, this is he's speaking in giant, so you haven't really understood anything he said so far, Fergus. Just knowing that you weren't able to communicate if he was so far away, you've gestured him to come closer. He's still kind of speaking in giant as he says,
What are you?
Do you speak common?
To him, obviously, you sound very like, do you speak common? But he kind of like tilts his head and he says,
Yes, I speak common.
Hi, my name's Fergus. I'm a kobold. I'm a lizard. I'm a lizard guy. I live in a cave.
Fergus.
Yes,
Okay.
Fergus.
Alright.
What? Oh, you're.
No, my camera.
Take your time.
Unplugging, replugging.
Yeah, take your time.
I need a new computer if anyone wants to get me one.
If I had the money, King.
Man. Okay.
we're just gonna, I guess, what to do.
All good, all good.
I don't know what to do because my camera's not being detected anymore. Even if I plug it in, did it die or something? Just a webcam. What if I turn on this camera? I rarely use this one because it dies all the time, but whatever. We'll use it for now. Hi.
Hey.
Alright. I'm ready. Go for it. So you were,
Yes, I'm
Remind me.
Fergus. I'm a kobold. I'm a lizard person, and you were like Fergus.
okay.
And, what brings you and your goose?
So this is actually my friend Crocus, but as you can see, we're very small in comparison. So we had to come up with an inventive way to get your attention. I can ask my friend to reveal themselves, and they speak giant. If you would rather speak in your mother tongue.
It makes no difference to me. I'm able to speak in common.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm Fergus, and I'm a lizard. I'm a kobold. I live in the. I'm from the caves, but I'm adventuring the big bad world.
I see you're from the exact opposite kind of place that we live in. The deepest underneath the earth below, aren't you?
Well, is that derogatory?
You don't feel offended. You feel like he's being just curious because he's probably never met somebody from the earth, let alone underneath the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that's an accurate description. I'm indeed from the deep depths of the earth.
That is very interesting. And what brings you here?
How
can I be of assistance?
Well, first of all, it's an honor to meet you. I'm assuming you're the king by your crown and your luscious outfit. But me and my three
He actually
friends.
takes a hand as you're talking, and he puts his hand up to you to get you to stop.
Okay.
And he takes a look at Shisa, and he's kind of like just staring at her for a moment. And he goes,
And you are?
My name's Shisa.
Shisa, roll me an insight check.
Oh.
As you're looking at the king, his eyes are glaring into you, just kind of like almost staring through you in a way, and you see his pupils kind of darting back and forth in that way where someone's thinking, and he just kind of tilts his head a bit, and he says,
Shisa. Greetings. Anyway, Fergus, where were we?
I'm kind of like a little bit flustered. I'm like, well, yeah, that's Shisa. And also this is Crocus. She can't talk. So they can't talk right now. They're a swan, but they're normally the same size as us. And I kind of gesture towards Shisa.
I see. So
Crocus bows their head a little bit as a swan.
I see. Yes, I am very familiar with druids. As you can see.
and he kind of takes a step back and he transforms himself into a horse.
He's a druid!
He kind of whinnies backwards and paws his hooves up in the air, and as he comes back down, back into king form, he's back down on all fours. His long, lengthy arms kind of droop down back to the ground as he drags his knuckles up and kind of does like a little half. He's already kneeling, but half kneeling curtsy.
Crocus honks excitedly.
He just nods his head at you and nothing else. He's very kind of stoic in this moment.
So, Fergus, Shisa, Crocus. I'll try my best to remember your names. I can't promise. Now, why are you here? You still have yet to say. Really, why are you here?
I kind of like look over to Shisa, and I say, King, can you give us just 2 seconds? Just 2 seconds. I just need to ask Shisa something quickly in private.
No.
Oh.
We're
What
looking for my
language-
mom.
Holy shit.
I'm just gonna blurt that out. I'm just gonna blurt it out.
Yeah. I like that.
He raises his eyebrows.
Your mother. I am sure I can assist. I have eyes all over the city. Who is it that you're looking for?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know what she looks like. I just know she's here.
Is she a giant?
I don't think so. Wouldn't really make sense, would it?
There aren't many people from Earth who make their way up to the castle, let alone the city, let alone the castle. That said, I have not heard of any people your size or people from Earth roaming around the city as of recently. Last I heard was many, many years ago.
How many years ago?
It's hard to say. Being alive for so long.
Do you think anybody could, like, still survive, though, without being spotted?
It's of course possible. And why do you say it like that? Like we're going to eat you and grind you up and turn you into bread?
My apologies. I mean, in terms of resources, I don't know how the ecosystem is up here.
Of course, we're very welcoming. It seems you have all entered, I'm assuming, without a pass and without a vouch. So
You might have noticed that, yeah.
I hope you're not offended that I am not afraid of you.
Well, you are quite large.
Yes. With that,
Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you, bless you, bless
Hey,
you.
bless
That was a rough one.
With that, I would like to know, what makes you think your mother is here?
Before we answer that question, can I just want to backtrack to a couple of conversations ago, Your Highness. You know when you were talking about the humans who were here, do you happen to remember if any of them had any particular musical talent of any degree? Maybe they played at the local tavern or something.
His eyes kind of narrow again.
Speak your mind.
I have. I'm. I just need to know if we're on the same track, you know?
If you're
If
going
you
to
can-
play coy with me and not tell me the truth, then I am going to take my leave.
No. I'm telling you the truth. I just need. We're telling you the truth.
I can tell that you are keeping something from me. It's not hard to tell.
Yes.
I mean, if we tell him and things go wrong, we can always just fly away.
I think I'll handle this, you guys.
You handle it, she said. Woohoo!
Well, multiple people have told me she's here, and quite frankly, I think I can sense her.
You can sense her. That's a strong familial bond. So, if you're going to give me information on helping you find her, then do it now, and I will help you. The faster I can get you out of my city, the better.
Honk!
Why is that?
He kind of tilts his head back at you and side eyes you a bit, Fergus, and he says,
In giant culture, it is important to be upfront and blunt, and you are neither.
Hey, I just wiped your. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. I rewind. I'm not saying that. Continue, Shisa.
So, I think I sense her in the woods.
Well, I have little jurisdiction over the woods. That said, I know of some contacts out in the wilderness that may be able to assist you, but I do not travel to that location very often. It's been at least 100 years.
Okay.
What makes you sense her? Are you both mages?
I'm a bard, so kind of
I
a
see.
little bit.
Music.
Yes.
Hmm.
I think my mother also was a musician, or is a musician. Sorry.
Hmm.
I've never met her before.
I see. So, if she was a musician, and she was not a giant or maybe a giant, was she talented?
Well, not to brag or anything, but I'm quite good myself, so I would assume so. Yes, she'd be very good.
And was she...
he kind of looks around at the group of you.
in any way related to that?
And he points a long, crooked finger at Fergus's trident.
Oh.
The
I kind of, like,
fingernail,
tuck the-
the fingernail of it almost touches the trident as he's pointing at it.
I'm just gonna say no. I don't think so.
But kind of.
But why would it be? Like Tropius has nothing to do with my mom.
Yeah, but it's the same. Like
They're siblings.
Like,
Oh God.
I'll
I
let
don't
you
know my
rewind that if you want.
lore.
It's up to you.
Fuck.
Do you want to lie to him, or do you want to rewind that a little bit?
I'm gonna say they could be, but I'm not totally sure.
He just nods his head in a way that's like he's thinking. He kind of closes his eyes, and his big forehead is kind of shown to you as he's putting his nose down, his head and nose down. His crown gleams a little bit off of the moonlight that's getting in here, and kind of tilts his head back and forth a few times as he's contemplating.
I think I know why you're here.
tell us.
You are trying to save the mortal plane, aren't you?
The what?
The mortal plane. The Earth.
Crocus gives a nod.
Oh. Well, I mean, personally, I just want to find my mom. But, if that does end up saving the mortal plane, that's cool too.
That is a noble theme for your adventure that you're on. That trident. I
Yeah.
can sense its power. There's
Yeah.
something
He kind of waves his hand like this in front of Crocus.
with this goose too.
Yeah. You're not being upfront, mate. Come on.
I actually don't know. But I have a feeling that it has something to do with the gods. Gods that I don't believe in. I never have.
Oh.
And that I don't respect.
Oh.
But
I just burst out laughing.
I will help you on your quest to find Vivian.
Really? Thank you.
He nods his head, and he says,
There is a former friend out in the forest. He went rogue.
Oh.
He was close. One that I trusted, and one that Vivian knew in her time in the city. I believe he has fallen in love, and he holds the harp.
Oh.
Retrieving it from him will be a deadly course of action. He is charmed. She may have charmed him. He may just be charmed by himself. I don't know. All I know is that it drove him mad when she disappeared.
Uh-oh. This is juicy information.
Okay. Cool. Love that for you, King. Question: why? And I mean this in a friendly manner. Why have you sensed something about gods? Are you? Sorry. Why have you sensed something about gods and you don't believe in them? Why would you help us if you don't believe in it? In the gods.
Well, for one thing, I don't care to see the earth fall. I don't care to see you all destroyed. Secondly, it's none of my concern who wins, but I think it'd be better if it was a fair fight. And thirdly, Vivian was a friend. And I can sense you're her daughter. You have her eyes.
Thanks.
She never loved this giant. They were never romantically involved. I'm sure she was in love with your father, whoever he was. She never flirted, never cast a spell. At least as far as I know. This giant, as I said, made his own assumptions. And now he covets the harp. I would go take it back, but it is not my place. And I care not to make an enemy of a former friend. I did not know that you existed. I had no clue that she had a daughter.
I didn't know I was her daughter until recently either.
I'm sorry. I'm sure she would have loved to meet you.
Maybe I'll be able to meet her once I find the harp.
It may not be too late. The true reason that I'm helping you is because I would like you to reunite with her. I'd like you to have that moment because I cared about Vivian. She was friendly and kind and loving. And her...
Thank you. I really appreciate helping.
He nods his head and he says,
And her and my wife were even closer now that my wife has been dead many years. I feel like this would be a great last gift to her. To retrieve her friend and maybe release her from that harp. Of all the gods, Vivian was the only one that ever cared about us here. The giants, we've been left to our own devices. In some ways good, in some ways sad. Lytropius, for example.
he kind of raises an eyebrow at the trident.
Has not blessed us with water or rain in many years.
Oh.
He kind of shrugs his shoulders.
The god of death barely visits. I've been alive for thousands of years. These gods, they are fickle and personal. They don't act like gods, they act like people. And
While he's kind of doing this monologue, I'm gonna start I guess gathering rain clouds and just causing a little, not a flash flood, but like a little bit of downpour, just so like he's aware that we're listening. Do you want me to roll a nature check for that?
Sure.
Like a nice light, just, you know, if you were like listening to rain just like patter off the window, like that kind of vibe. And I'm just like doing it silently while he's having his monologue.
He smirks a bit as you do that. And he says,
I hold no grudge. I hold no true disdain, maybe frustration. But Vivian always had time to come and perform, to come and be a friend to my wife.
Listen, I can only apologize for the actions of my father. The three of us have been through a very turbulent few months together. We've learned a lot about each other and ourselves individually, but it's not much. I'm sure there's years of frustration where all this came from, but the least I can do is bless your lands and farmlands with some rainfall.
I appreciate that. Our worlds are not so different. And therefore, I'm willing to save yours, or at least to help you save yours, to put you on the path. But I will not intervene. If you lose, I will not stop the Earth from being destroyed.
He valid.
Why not?
I have no reason to. Gormok will not make his way into the clouds. We have no gods for him to slay.
Okay. But what about the millions and billions of innocent beings, creatures, and mythical beasts that live across the land?
I will not put my own people in danger to save yours.
No,
What?
This
that's
is not
like
our war.
yeah, I completely understand and agree, frankly. But perhaps you could loan us, your technology, or teach us your technology, anything that could perhaps help us win this war, and perhaps we can unite the two worlds even better once we defeat the beast that is Gormak. Gormak.
A noble outlook. One more far-reaching than your own father. But say I were to give you technology weapons. What happens when Gormok realizes where those things came from?
Huh.
He valid.
You being here right now is putting my entire city in danger, which is why I'm helping you.
I mean, I guess there's a slightly different way we could go about this. You know, I'm sure you have a big weapon store, or with technology and some blueprints and whatever. We could just falsify a robbery, and when Gormot comes knocking, you can just say that we broke into your lands. Such a bad idea. Anyway,
I'll
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, please. Okay, 16.
think about it. Now, I will loan you Ezekiel to take with you. That way you can travel to the forest in a timely manner and then leave.
okay,
I have one request.
yeah,
In the center of the forest lies my wife's grave.
uh-huh.
We have a caretaker, family friend, who I send out each day to go clean the grave.
Okay.
If you find the hop and you retrieve it, would you
And he looks at Shisa directly.
play a song for my wife?
Of course.
Then you shall have Ezekiel, and you shall have my blessing to travel through the city. If you would like to stop at any shops, or take a rest at the tavern, you will have my blessing.
And he hands you off of one of his rings. He pulls off a tiny little rhinestone, which to you is big enough to hold in both hands, Fergus, as he hands it to you. And he says,
Oh.
This will be your pass.
Huh.
Again, thank you so much for all of this. I'm shocked by your hospitality.
I'm shocked by your arrival. When I say don't mention it, which is one of your mortal sayings, I mean it.
Okay.
You really do have her eyes.
I really hope I get to see them.
You may. You just may.
And that's where we're going to end it for today. We'll pick it up next time with you guys deciding where you want to go with Ezekiel, the horse, or Fluffy, I should say. The king doesn't know that his name is changed to Fluffy, so that's why he keeps calling him Ezekiel. But we'll stop at any shops you want to go to, and then we'll travel out to the forest. You've gotten some information. The king has given you enough info that Ezekiel can take you to the location where this giant might be, the friend of the king. So if that's a place you want to go, we can send you there. We can get you there. It's all going to be great. Okie doke. Anyone have any questions or anything they want to say before we go? Anyone want to have any shout outs of shows they got going on or streams coming up or anything? I'm going to TwitchCon, y'all. So if you're going to TwitchCon, I'll be there from October whatever to whatever, 6th to 9th or something. I don't remember.
I'm not going to TwitchCon, but if for whatever reason you find yourself in LA at the same weekend as TwitchCon weekend, we can get lunch because I am going to see my favorite artist in LA. Very long story that I'll tell you off stream, but long story short, I managed to get free tickets. So
wow.
I'm going to LA because it was very cheap to fly. So if you're in LA, we can get lunch. Same goes for either of you three. I don't know if either of you are going to TwitchCon San Diego, but yeah.
How far is LA from San Diego? Probably pretty far, huh?
It's a couple hours
like
drive, I think.
an hour, 2 hours drive.
Yeah. So it's not like the most convenient thing in the world, but if for whatever reason I'm there for an entire week, so if by
why don't
happenstance
you
I'm there-
swing down to San Diego, huh?
I don't drive.
So, well, I'm not gonna drive there.
There's a train.
There's a train.
Oh, there is?
Yeah,
Hey,
that
maybe I will come down for the day then, actually.
Hey, I'd love that. Just let me know. You got my number, so.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, otherwise, nothing from me.
Anyone else got anything cool they want to mention? Thanks
Nope.
everyone who showed up to the stream. I know it's been like a month since I streamed. I think the last time I streamed was the last time we played. So I've just been busy teaching. So I really love you guys. Thanks everyone for showing up, and thanks for all the gift subs, Wex, and just means the world to me. So I'm glad you guys have fun playing D&D with me, and you know, the story's coming down to its close, but it's gonna be something that you can always look back on the YouTube channel and listen to the whole thing over again and relive it, because it's been a highlight of my life for the last couple years. So
It's been one hell of a ride, that's for sure.
well, it's not over yet. We still got like 8 episodes.
Not
or something.
yet.